Going live. We're live and we're in person. Hey, good morning. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. Hope you're doing well. It's about 7:29. It's been a weird week with the dogs. Cat food everywhere around the house. I don't know if the dogs chasing the cats. You know, those new team players. They make everything all messed up when they get on board. Anyway, good morning. It's Friday. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show where we talk about Agile Scrum in a practical and tactical way. And we try to get you home to your family and friends at the same time, bringing value to the customer and getting it all done and have a little fun, right? Because this is how crazy work. Those Agile accountants. Speaking of Agile accountants, we are going to do Fortune Cookie Friday. I have fortune cookies. So let's see which kind I get this time. Ooh, I got a gold one. We're going to do gold fortune cookie today. So Fortune Cookie Friday. So the two topics I'm going to talk about today. By the way, this is our 486th episode. So we're getting there. Almost 500. Can you imagine that? We're almost 500 shows. Team commitment, sprint commitment, and some things using your Outlook calendars and your company calendars to help with that sprint commitment information or calendars and capacity, how to do capacity. So it's like a capacity show today. So we're going to talk about using the Outlook calendar to help you out and communicate among your teammates. And then also we're going to use some planning poker and ascertaining a sprint commitment during holiday vacation times when people are out. A substitute for our spreadsheet. Those Agile accountants love those spreadsheets. I always roll my eyes. I love them to death that they're so conscientious that they want to come up with these elaborate spreadsheets to figure out capacity and philosophy for sprints based on who's in, who's out, how much time they're taking off, schedules, blah, blah, blah. I do feel for them. I love them to death for trying their best to do that, but I also think it's a total waste of time and doesn't really help any. I mean, it helps, but I think it's way overkill. So we're going to talk about that. All right. So, and I got my little note I'm running. Hopefully I get a new, I'll have to buy my own calendar because I know they won't get it. I have to go get a new calendar for the new year. Probably should go over across the street and go check them out. Okay. So team calendars, team commitment, sprint commitment, capacity. So one of the things, part of the capacity is who's taking off on holidays, vacations, things like that. Things they know that are coming down the road. You can't adjust your capacity for someone getting sick right in the middle of the sprint because you can't predict that stuff. If that was true, we'd be all millionaires, right? Or at least this COVID thing would not be here because everybody would know we got one and then don't show up to the office. So here's an idea, making sure that everybody in your team posts in a calendar when they're taking off. And why do I say that? And a lot of offices I've been to, we've had Outlook calendars, things like that, where they go in and you can do a calendar invite. You put a calendar event up there like, I am going out. I'm not going to be here Friday. And then you invite your whole team so that it shows up on their team calendar. I like that more than some customized calendar thing that everybody invents because I really don't care about the whole corporation. I just care about my team, okay? And maybe my boss. There's like two levels everywhere I go. I go my team, my boss, and then maybe if I have a same row of managers across that I work with or other Agile coaches or Scrum Masters or whatever that crew is that I work with a lot in my day-to-day, that's the other crew that I like having to know when they're going to take off on vacation. So by doing that, you're encouraging your team to inform your teammates on when the holiday structures are. Now, as a Scrum Master, here's what I would do. I would go on to the calendar and I would look who's going to be out, and it comes from planning and say, hey, looks like we're going to have like 2 or 3, maybe even 5 people out. Who knows how big your team is out the sprint planning. So I think we should reduce it. You take the job as Scrum Master to say, hey, I'm going to go on the calendar. Hey, according to the calendar, all the invites everybody shared, that we got a couple of people out. So let's adjust the velocity based on we just don't have people here to do the job. Now, what did I do when I said that? One, I helped serve, I helped that, but I also told the team how we should look at this. We used the calendar to figure out what our reduction in capacity or what our reduction in projected commitments are for the sprint. By teaching them, one day I don't have to do it because everybody will do that. I don't have to encourage people to do it. People on the team will say, hey, I think because of Christmas holiday or New Year's holiday or one of the holidays over in India or something like that, or Thanksgiving, who knows? I'm here on the East Coast. It is what it is. We should reduce the number of points we take on, right? So by doing that and telling them it and communicating it, now you're communicating, interacting among the team. That form of calendar sharing is a form of interaction among the teams where they communicate, because it's nice to have. Because also, what if you're doing something and they go, oh, is Greg in today? Let me go check the calendar. No, he didn't pop that he was going to be out today, so I'm assuming he's in today. Because especially if it's just remote stuff, you need the calendars in operation, because you can't just look over to the side and go, yep, Greg's not in. I don't know where he's at. So you need to update those calendars to show whether or not you're in the office, right? So all my years of doing this, it even plays more in this lockdown environment. So that's first part. So encourage your team, use a team calendar, use something everybody uses, invite each other, do at team, whatever, and say, hey, I'm going to be out, and you can mark. And there's tricks on that. Like you always mark it like it's a free meeting, so it doesn't fill up their calendar in Outlook. So you mark it as free in Outlook, and that way it doesn't fill like little slashes and all that kind of stuff across the calendar, because otherwise the other person's calendar looks like it's booked all day. It's amazing when people, for all the years Microsoft Outlook has been out in the market, how many people don't know how to put calendar events in their calendar? It's just amazing. And all the meetings we did, we haven't figured this out yet. It's weird. Anyway, okay. So that's the idea. Use the calendar. So the other thing, the little fun thing, we're going to use these things. So now you got in your calendar. Now I could say, as a Scrum Master, I could go in, hey, I think we ought to reduce the velocity commitment by 5 points to sprint, because we a couple people, according to calendar, I saw as Scrum Master, they're going to be out. Well, you could do that, right? You can do that. You can do a spreadsheet. You could do that too. Don't like the spreadsheet. I think it's a waste of time, because here's what I think the conversation should be. Here's what I think the conversation. So you take your planning poker cards. Everybody knows. You say, okay, looks like we got a couple people out for like a full day, half day, whatever, during the sprint, how many points should we take off? I used to say like, just take 5 or 2 or 3 or something like that. But I want to do something different. Do planning poker, right? Do planning poker. So everybody goes on and says, at the same time, you go 1, 2, 3, boom. I think we should take 2 points off. Maybe another person says, I think we should take 5 points off. Another person might say, I think we should take 3 points off, and do the planning poker, right? I just lost my card. I don't know where it went. Anyway, it's gone now. So I guess it's either a 2 or 3. Someone lost the 5, so it's one of these 2 numbers. So do a little planning poker regimen on how many points the team should think they should take off, and have the conversation reduced down to a minute. So now, instead of creating this elaborate spreadsheet, very Agile accountant-like-ish spreadsheet, just reduce your time for discussion to 1 minute. How's that? So all that time who's out, all blah, blah, blah. Everybody update the calendar so everybody can see it after sprint planning. It's all over, because you know what? No one uses those spreadsheets after sprint planning ever again anyhow. So who gives a crap, right? So put it in the calendar so it's useful for the entire 2 sprints, 2 weeks of the sprint, or 1 week of the sprint, or 4 weeks, whatever your sprint is, the entire length of the time box. On sprint planning day, say, hey, I see we got a couple people off. Let's do planning poker and figure out how much we should reduce the velocity by. Is it going to be 5 points, 2 points, 3 points, blah, blah, whatever it would be, right? And they can have a discussion on it, and it shouldn't take more than 1 minute. Okay? That's how easy it should be. It should be like a 1 minute discussion. No more, no less. Not a spreadsheet, not a bunch of time, not a bunch of time from the Scrum Masters. I always hear Scrum Masters complain on how much time they don't have and how busy they are. Well, then stop doing Agile accountant stuff. Makes sense? Anyway, that's my time-saving tip and time-related thing in these holiday sessions for today. Now, we have the fun stuff. Fortune Cookie Friday! Yay! Fortune Cookie Friday! All right, so in this bag is a sealed by Agile Accountants, a message for us to discuss during the show. We talk about whatever the message is and we convert it into an Agile discussion or the show or Scrum or something. Who knows? Because I have no idea what's in these things. All right, I'm going to open it up. I try to get it from different brands. I support my local little Chinese restaurant there for small businesses. Go there, try to go there maybe once every other week. Non-COVID, I go there once a month because I just didn't know. But now, since everybody needs business, I go more frequently. Okay, this is good. Ooh, battery saver mode. That's not good. We got to do this fast. The battery just kicked in. I thought I had a whole thing. Thank God. All right. If not persist, you would not fulfill all your New Year resolutions. If not persist, you would not fulfill all your New Year's resolutions. So if you don't persist, you won't fulfill them. So don't give up. Keep going. Keep out there demoing, delivering product. You got to persist or you will not meet your resolutions. So you got to keep on trucking out there. That's what I'm going to have today because the battery's about to die on my laptop. But if not persist, you would not fulfill all your New Year resolutions. I just think it as Scrum, breaking it down to smaller pieces. If you don't deliver, do the whole thing every time, you'll never get there. It'll take for long. It'll be delay. So with that, I'm going to say thumbs up, like the show, ring the little bell if you like what we're doing so you get notification when we go live. And my battery's about to die on this laptop. And I just want to say, love you all. Have a good weekend. See you tomorrow. SpaceX launching tomorrow. I think the Russians are launching today. A lot of rockets going on. All right, take care. And the Chinese brought back some moon rocks. And we'll see how that works. I like the guy in the whole uniform, all dressed up. And there's a guy taking a picture who wasn't all dressed up. I just go, well, isn't the guy who's taking the picture going to die? I don't know. Maybe. But there was a guy dressed in a space suit to get the rock. Funny. All right, take care, you all. And see you later.